Hi everyone, very happy to be recording a new session for you again. In today's session, we're going to talk about self-sabotage. All right, I think that's a concept which is very interesting to explore because a lot of people do self-sabotage their relationships and everything in their life, even without realizing that they're doing so. So even before we start to talk about the concepts which we're going to back by psychology in the next series of podcasts, I would like to first of all go to like the basics. Okay? The basics meaning we first need to understand that all our behaviors come from beliefs and experiences that have been fed into our subconscious, right? The way we act and the way we behave, the way we form relationships, the way we treat ourselves and the way we treat others, they all come from beliefs we've got about the way we should do things. Or they could be linked to what happened in the past and that shaped the way we behave now. All right? So all these behaviors come from either beliefs or experiences. And this is why sometimes we behave in ways which we think are outside of our control and we actually get frustrated by our own behavior at times. And this is because it's actually quite deep into the subconscious and you don't realize when you picked it up, that belief that makes you act in this way. It's so deep that you don't realize it has become a part of you. So how do we get over that? Even before we think about getting over things, if things are actually that deep in yourself, you actually need to understand what's the source. And then you can actually do something about it. So first of all, we need to actually understand the source. So an example of you sabotaging your relationship would be maybe that as a person you yearn for love, but actually when you get it, you push it away. So that's one example of self-sabotaging. Okay? You're looking for something, but when it comes to you, you push it away because there's something in you that actually repels it. All right? So in today's session, we're actually going to talk about the fear of abandonment. All right? Which is one of the things which forces you to sabotage your relationships. All right? What we need to understand is self-sabotaging relationships are all about the past. So it's about something that happened to you before. And it goes quite early in your lifetime. Okay, as early as you being with your primary caregiver. Okay, which in most of the case will be your close parents. All right? So if your primary caregiver was not consistently available to meet your needs as a child, you may have developed something we call an insecure attachment style. All right? And today we're going to talk about the self-sabotaging syndrome. Okay? So how does it work out? And how does it get into your system? Let's say you had your primary caregiver who was normally absent. Okay? So you had your caregiver, someone who was supposed to care for you, and that person was most of the time not here. So how does it affect your psyche? What happens is, if that's the case, you may end up growing into someone who may become very avoidant. Okay? And the belief that you end up developing is you end up telling yourself, just because of that experiences of not having someone who was present, you start to develop a belief that tells yourself that others can't be trusted to be there for you. Okay? And what happens now in your adult life is you automatically want to withdraw. Okay? You automatically want to withdraw when someone gets close to you. So that's how this experience, which was not having someone to care for you, that experience created that belief, which became something part of you, which was about, oh, those can't be trusted. And that actually becomes a behavior which you execute now. And you are not consciously, but unconsciously sabotaging your relationships just because of that experience. Because subconsciously, you think that love is a threat. Okay? And you also think that commitment is something you need to avoid. So that's how the self-sabotaging syndrome works. And today we've actually explored one possibility. And in the next podcast, or in the next few podcasts, I'm just going to go over other aspects of self-sabotaging, because in my day-to-day dealings with people, with students, these things come up. And if we actually don't talk about it, and you don't think about it, you don't try to go to the source, you could actually be ruining your next few years just because of that experience. All right? So I hope that you found that interesting. I'm going to see you very soon for a follow-up on that. Okay? See you. Lots of love, Girish.